Hey everyone, welcome to this very special training with Xavier. He's going to be talking to us about winning in sales. Jet, maybe before you get started, you could just tell us a little bit about your story, or you might have that as part of your presentation.
Mate, short and sweet, been in this industry for the last 11 years, teaching mindset, motivation, and accountability. Had the fortunate pleasure of coaching 5 number ones in their separate brands over the last 10 years. I was looking back at what I'd been doing and learning from them, helping them to get to where they wanted to get to, but really learning as well. And today I'm going to bring a bit of experience that I've gleaned off their journeys and passed it on to the group today. So it's all about mindset, as you know, at the end of the day. Skill set will only get you so far, but mindset will take you all the way. And so I'm excited to be part of the group today sharing.
Awesome. Well, we're delighted to have you with us, and we've got agents from all over Australia on the call, and more will be coming through, I'm sure.
Awesome. We're good to go.
Good to go, mate.
Well, guys, if you've got a pen and a bit of paper, that's going to be good. I'll get you to take some notes today. This morning's all about learning. And like I said, it's I guess what I've gleaned from top agents and business owners that I've worked with over the last 11 years. And if I'm honest, it's nothing new. Yeah. You guys know what you're doing. The thing I love about eXp is you got to be made of the right stuff to be able to step out and go, hang on a second, I'm going to back myself and I'm going to give this a crack. And I'm going to find the best support. I'm going to find the best training. I'm going to find the best people, and I'm going to have a go at that. So, you should give yourselves a round of applause for doing that. But for me, success or winning in sales, as today's called, it's about becoming sort of, I guess, unstuck. You ever felt like you're just surviving, you're going through the motions? I mean, we get that. We get in a rut, I guess they call it. And today's going to be, how do we get from surviving in that stuck feeling to really thriving? I don't know if you've ever been to Japan and you've been on one of those bullet trains, but they're going 500 kilometers an hour. They're on point. They're never late. They know exactly what's heading. There's nothing in the way, and they get the job done. And I think we want to be a bullet train. Otherwise, it's sort of like, I don't know if you've ever been striving in your business. You're trying to get there. You're nearly there. You're nearly there. You're nearly there. Then something happens and you seem to be on this roller coaster all the time, up and down. That's pretty much the life of a real estate agent. They're either stuck, surviving, going through the motions, or they're striving to get forward and having a win here and a loss there, and there's sort of no consistency. And I guess today's about that bullet train. If you can get on the bullet train of success, I think you're going to hit it out of the park more often than not. And I like to look at success or winning in sales like a stool, a 3-legged stool. If you think of it like that today, if it's got 2 legs, it's not gonna stand up. You can't sit on it. If it's got 1 leg, there's no chance. It needs 3 legs. And so what I'm going to pass on today, the 3 things that I've learned off great agents in my last 11 years experience, these 3 things work together, not in isolation. You can do them in isolation, but they're not as powerful if you put them together. Think about making a cake. It's the same sort of analogy. If you leave the egg out sometimes, or don't put enough salt in, on bicarb soda, the thing tastes like crap. I think winning is a series of things that work together. They're synergistically aligned. And if you don't have them working like that, then you miss out. You leave a lot of money on the table. And so if I can give you these 3 things and you can think of them as a stool with 3 legs, we're halfway there to success. And the first thing really is about our attitude. And, we bang on about attitude all the time. And so, have the right attitude, have the attitude, that'll get you through. Here's the thing. There was a meta-analysis data study done of 220 plus studies of attitude. And they found categorically that people who are more successful, who have better lives, better health, better relationships, better everything, have a great attitude. We could finish now. We could pack up, get off the call, go away, take that information with you, and it would change your life. the jury's out on attitude. The only problem is I don't think we understand what attitude actually is. And I'll explain it like this. All of you have got a car, and to get into your car, you've got a fob. Yeah. I'm sure you've come out of the club late at night doing these ones around the car park. Oh, where's my car? Where's my car? And you're trying to connect the fob to the lights flashing in your car. Well, attitude's the same. If the fob's not coded to your car, it doesn't work. The same if your attitude's not coded to you, it's not going to work. And so let's use that analogy FOB, because what attitude really is three things. Attitude is a feeling, and you all know what a feeling is. You know when you feel crap, and you know when you feel amazing and awesome. Attitude is also an opinion. It's an opinion you have about something. You've got an opinion about the market. You've got an opinion about your competition. You've got an opinion about your partner. You've got an opinion about yourself. Attitude is about an opinion. And then lastly, attitude's about the behavior that follows those feelings and opinions. And so you can see how it works. If your feeling is out, you'll have an opinion about that doesn't support success, and your behavior will follow. There's a great example of an admiral. I think his name was Admiral Nimitz. Don't quote me on that, but the story was about the war or the bombings in Pearl Harbor in 1941. And basically it destroyed the whole area, aircraft carriers, the whole bit. There was a couple of thousand people that died. It was a terrible thing that happened around the start of World War II. And Admiral Nimitz was taken to Pearl Harbor and shown the destruction, because he was the one that was going to pick up the pieces and make it happen, or get things back to normal. And rather than go in and be focused on the damage and the destruction that happened, he went in and he went, geez, I'm glad they didn't bomb the fuel stores. I'm glad they didn't bomb the wharves. I'm glad it was the weekend and we didn't have as many people on site. And he went through a whole lot of things that we look at as optimism. And he came back with a smaller fleet and destroyed the opposing army, and was heralded as a hero for being able to do that. What he was actually doing was perpetual optimism. And perpetual optimism is ongoing, on-flowing, continuous optimism. See, he could have sat there and gone, oh, we're in strife. We've got 2,000 dead. This has been bombed. We haven't got enough planes. This is going to happen. But what he was exercising was perpetual optimism. And the behavior that follows feelings and opinions is perpetual optimism. You see, there's 4 types of attitude. There's a positive attitude. We all know how that feels. There's a negative attitude. That's obvious. There's a neutral attitude where you just, care. You're not bothered. It doesn't matter. And then there's an attitude called a sicken attitude, S-I-K-K-E-N. And the sicken attitude is that moody type of attitude. You ever met those people? They're just grumps. The room's darker when they walk in and it's lighter when they walk out. And that's part of a bigger discussion around the psychology and personality types. But sicken attitude is that type of attitude. They're just angry. Nothing's ever right. And the interesting thing about Admiral Nimitz and perpetual optimism is that there's a choice when we look at what attitude we want to have, because we can be in charge of our feelings. Would you agree? Yes. Okay. Your feelings don't attack you, put your arm behind your back and hold you captive and make you feel a certain way. You make the decision to feel a particular way. You're in control of your opinions, right? Yep, of course you are. So you can have an opinion about the market that's negative, or you can have an opinion about the market that is positive. And then your behavior that follows is also your choice as well. I'm looking for someone in an admin role at the moment, and I met a beautiful lady the other day, and she's sort of in the industry. She does some buyer advocate type of stuff. And I was interested why she would need some admin work, and I thought, oh, maybe she just needs some extra coin.
Surely not, man.
She goes, COVID was really hard. And during COVID, I had a heart attack and I lost my son. I thought, oh, okay, well, I won't sort of talk about that at the start. So we just talked about business. And at the end, I said, by the way, can I ask about your heart attack and your son? Excuse me, I had a heart attack and my son saved my life. And I'm lucky to be here. But 6 months after that, he died from a heroin overdose in the house. And she was, showing a lot of courage and a lot of regret about the fact that she didn't get up and check his room when she saw the light on, and a whole lot of stuff that she was going through. But in that moment, he was a person that had been through such a terrible thing that happens to people. Making a decision to take care of her feelings, her opinions, and her behavior. He was a person that stood up and said, I'm going to be in control of my attitude. I'm going to have a positive attitude. I'm going to stay in that lane. I'm going to make a decision to do that. And there's a good doco out called 14 Peaks with Nims Purja. He's a mountaineer. He climbs 14 8,000 plus meter peaks in, I think it's six and a half months. And the project is called Project Possible. And if you're interested, you don't have to be interested in mountain climbing, just the person and what he stands for. Sort of emulated what the lady that I spoke to stood for. And that is the power of the choice we have in our attitude. And you're going to leave this call today, and you're going to have your own challenges that you're going through in life. And you're going to make a decision about the attitude that you have. And you're going to make a decision to be part of a perpetual optimism that says, hang on a second, my FOB, my feelings, opinion, and my behavior line up and are in synergy with the attitude that I need to have that first leg of my stool firmly in place. The second thing is our focus. Now, I know this is your competition, but Gary Keller from Keller Williams brought out a book called The One Thing. If you haven't read it, you should read it anyway. It's a great book. And he says, not all things matter equally. Now, if you got your attitude right, the next thing is focus. The next leg on the stool is focus. And when I teach focus, this is what I teach. I teach selfish attention, because not all things matter equally. When you think about focus, you need selfish attention. Now, I'd assume most of us on the call have felt what it's like to be in love at some point in time. Even if we didn't get with a person, we still might have fell in love, might have been a rock star on our wall or something that we had an infatuation with. If you've ever been infatuated with someone or something, it might be some of you guys there, you might have had a great car. You can get infatuated with your car. But that infatuation does not make any sense, yeah? You lose all sensibilities. I remember when I first fell in love, back in the days where you had pay phones, you didn't have mobile phones, and you'd stand for 4 hours in a line waiting to talk to your girlfriend on the phone, because someone would be on the phone talking to their girlfriend for 4 hours and you couldn't get on. But there was an infatuation and nothing mattered. The rest of the world was dead silent. There were no distractions. You were honed in on, at that point in time, what was important. You had selfish attention. And part of selfish attention is a routine. And if we look at tennis players, particularly Rafa Nadal, before he serves or before he returns, what does he do? He pulls his undies out of his bum, he flicks his nose, he scratches his head, he moves his thing, he taps his foot, he turns around. He does it every single time. Why is he doing that? He's doing that because that's a routine to getting back into infatuation or selfish attention. And I think a lot of the times we lose focus, not only because we get distracted, it's because we don't have a way back to what we were focusing on. I'll give you an example. So I've got a home office. I'm ADHD. I'm medicated. I don't mind talking about that. But I know that during the day, I'm going to get distracted. 100%. 100%. And in the past, that has caused me to spiral into depression and beating myself up because I'm not getting done what I needed to get done. But I started to think about focus and selfish attention and how I could stop the distractions, but more importantly, not only how I could stop them during the day, but how I could rebound quickly and get my focus back to 100% when I lost focus, which I knew I was going to do. So I created a routine. My simple routine is I've got 3 or 4 major things that I'm working on over a 90-day period that I need to get onto at any point in the day. And so when I start to lose my selfish attention and get distracted, I'll drop what I'm doing and I'll go for a walk, and I'll come back to either something different that's just as important or the same thing that was important, and I'll start again. I might do that 50 times a day. Do you think I'm ahead of the game at the end of the day still? Yes, I am. Because I just kept going back to what was important. It might have been a different task, but it was still important for me. So the routine, the Rafa Nadal routine of getting me back into the zone, getting me back into the focus was really important. Just as the target is. If you've seen baseball batters, what is the thing that they're focusing on the most? They're focusing on the ball that's coming at them between 50 and 150 kilometers an hour. That's all they are zoned into. That is a practice. That is a practice. And so for me, getting the focus or getting that second leg of the stool operating is making sure I have selfish attention, no distractions, that I'm in the moment, that I have a rebound routine for my focus, and that I have clarity around my target. I don't do anything unless it's attached to my 90-day project plan. It's simple. That's the 10 things that I'm doing over 90 days. As long as I come back to that, I don't beat myself up. I don't feel bad because I know how I'm going to respond. But at the end of the day, I feel better about myself because I've had a crack at whatever it is that's important across those tasks that I need to do. Gary Keller says success is doing the right thing. It's not about doing everything right. I'll give you an example that really can pull you into focus. Jonathan Edwards is a hop, skip, and jump world champion. It's a funny sport, hop, skip, and jump. Who would have thought? But anyway, it's a sport. It's like synchronized swimming. Well, it's one of those arguments, you know, down the pub having a drink. Synchronized swimming, that's not a sport. Well, you should see the hop, skip, and jump. That ain't a sport either. But it is a sport. Anyway, Jonathan Edwards, British world champion. 1988 went to the Olympics. He came 23rd, I think it was. 1992 went back again. So there's, you got 12, nearly 20 years of a commitment. Goes back again 1992, comes 35th or something, like worse. You think, okay, time to give up. No, goes back in 1996, wins a silver. 1997 wins the world championship. 2000 wins the gold medal. Now that is focus. Would you not agree? That is ultimate focus. How does someone spend their life pretty much on a sport, hop, skip, and jump to win a gold medal? They do it because there's a purpose aligned with what they are doing. This is what I say to people. If you're not prospecting, if you're not door knocking, if you're not doing what it is you know you should do, whatever that is, and everyone's different, it's not because you don't know how to. It's not because you don't want to. It's because you don't value it. Yeah? I used to do a lot of executive coaching with CEOs, and I'd say, what's the most important thing to you? Oh, my family. I love my family to bits. You know, they're the world to me. What's the biggest issue you have that you're facing at the moment? Don't have enough time to spend with my family. Okay. All right. Why not? Well, because work's got, you know, too many demands. I have to do this and this and that. So what they were telling me, not that they didn't want to spend time with their family, the family wasn't important, but it wasn't of a high value. And Dr. Demartini talks a lot about this in his hierarchy of values, if you're interested. If you don't stay focused, there's no purpose behind what you're trying to do. And there's no value associated to it. And so if you want to change your focus, you need to align a purpose. Jonathan Edwards had a purpose. He had a 30 a year or so purpose to win that gold medal. And he stuck to that purpose because he had a high level of value to it. And I would pretty much guarantee if you went back through the things you're not executing at this point in time, it wouldn't only be an attitude issue. The other leg of the chair would be a value issue. And you're better off being honest with yourself about that and then reconciling yourself to the fact that that's the way it is and then changing it than resisting it and pushing it away and trying to make yourself do it. And there's plenty of research around willpower not working, etc. So the last thing on focus is, well, what's your purpose around what you're doing? And it could be a small thing that you need to do. It might be exercise. People don't exercise not because they don't want to or they don't think it's important, because they don't value it enough. So that's focus. So we got attitude as one leg of the chair, our FOB system, feelings, opinions, and behavior that follows. And then we've got focus. Not all things matter equally, and we want to have a purpose-driven focus. That's the second leg of the chair. And the last one is effort. We can't have attitude and focus without effort. And I hope you see, or you can join the dots at the moment, we can't have effort by itself without attitude and focus. We can't just have focus and a bad attitude. And no, these things are your superpower if you put them together. If you let this drop today and you walk away going, hang on, I can get these 3 legs in the chair lined up, synergistically working for me, it's a game changer. It's game over. The power that goes with these moving in the same direction together is incredible. The problem is we try and do them in isolation. I hope that sort of point is coming across. But effort's about success ratio. This is the easiest way to understand effort. You get out what you put in. Yeah. But you get out what you put in from a leverage point of view. Everyone's heard the analogy about the 2 people chopping down the trees, and one person sharpened the saw every 15 minutes and the other person didn't. And the person that sharpened the saw actually chopped down more trees than the person that didn't, even though the person that didn't was chopping more often than not. Well, the person that sharpened their sword had consistent leverage. Where's your leverage in your effort? Are you just driving yourself into the ground? Are you burning yourself out? Are you a high performance corporate athlete, or are you just dragging your ass around all the time, overworking yourself, overextending yourself, over pleasing other people, not saying no, and burning yourself out? The high performance is about you looking at yourself as that corporate athlete and going, okay, how can I do things smarter? How can I make more and do less? And that's partly around what the model is that you're in. It's a model that's highly leveraged. Yeah, there's no bricks and mortar. There's no, staff at a high length yet. There's none of the stuff that you have to get dragged into. You almost have the ultimate freedom in a sense. So understanding leverage from an effort point of view is really important. There's an interesting thing called prospective outcome bias in psychology, and this relates to effort. Prospective outcome bias is about us seeing the possibilities in what we're doing down the end of the line. So, for example, people who are gambling were told that if they gamble more, they're going to win more. So they gambled more, they risked more. And people that were told they weren't going to win more, what do you think they did? Well, they didn't do anything. They sort of slowly stopped. It wasn't fun anymore. And so the point of the study is that if we believe we're going to have a level of success down the track, then we're going to put in more effort. We're going to lean into it more. We're going to take more risks. We're going to maybe do things that we were holding back on and resisting. We're going to go all in, as they say. And here's the thing that is important around prospective outcome bias, I believe, in real estate. Real estate is a predictable business. It's not guesswork. It works if you do A, B, and C. Yeah. It's nothing. You don't have to come up with something new. I remember I asked Phil Harris once from Adelaide. I said, what do agents make? What is the biggest mistake agents make? And he said they try and reinvent the wheel. Because you're so independent, real estate agents, you're so independent, you want to get in there and go, well, I can do this better. No, you can't do it better. If you did it better, you wouldn't be where you are. Just do what has to be done. Follow the program, drink the Kool-Aid, do the system, how the system needs to be done, and you'll accelerate your results. You'll get there a lot quicker because that prospective outcome bias says, I know that I'm going to succeed if I do this, this, and that. What's the biggest killer in agents' careers? Not being able to delay gratification. Why can't they delay gratification? Because they can't see the payoff at the end of the game. If you just do the simplest things in real estate, the basic fundamentals, day in and day out, you're going to win because percentages tell us that those people that get in real estate won't do that. They won't do it. They'll try it, it'll get too hard, and they'll lose sight of it. So for you, from an effort point of view, from this third leg of the stool point of view, it's going, hang on a second, I just got to tick these boxes every day. That's all I got to do. I just got to tick the boxes. And I guarantee within 3 years, I tell all new people that I start training, within 3 years, you tick all the boxes, you are set for life. It's game over. Game over. There's this great doco on Netflix called Naiad. It's about Diana Naiad, an ocean swimmer, famous ocean swimmer. And she decided to swim from Cuba to Florida, 100 or so miles. Would take about 55 hours to shark-infested box jellyfish, raging currents. She decided to do that at 64 years of age. Here's the thing. In her late 20s, she tried it 4 times and failed. And now at 64, she decides, I'm gonna give it another crack. I'm gonna have a go at it. And she's standing on the Cuban beach looking across to where she's swimming towards Florida. And Bonnie, her manager, best friend, says to her, you know, what are you thinking? How are you going to do this? She turns to Bonnie and she says this, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way. And if effort is anything, it's finding a way. What is your way today? What is the ocean in front of you today? What swim do you have to make through shark-infested box jellyfish waters today? What is the way that you need to find? Because there is a way. And at 64 years of age, Diane and I had swum 100+ miles in 50+ hours through all of those dangerous conditions and became the only, not one of, the only person to swim Cuba to Florida unassisted. Why? Because she found a way. So effort is that third leg of the stool. So you combine attitude, you combine focus, and you put effort together, and you are a superhuman with superpowers. But if you're looking at your business today and you're going, well, this isn't working, that's not tracking, this isn't sticking, I haven't got momentum, I haven't got traction. And if you're back at the start, like we said, and you're sort of surviving and stuck, or you're striving and on the roller coaster, I bet my house it's about attitude, focus, and effort. And I bet my house, if you shift and change those things, you would get that momentum, you would get that traction again, you would get the acceleration you're looking for, and you would go like Diana Nyad straight across the ocean from Cuba to Florida, and you would win. Let me finish on this. What wraps all this up today? Well, what wraps it up is you taking this and however it applies to you and taking ownership of what needs to happen. Alex Sheen, in about 2013, just a young bloke, said this at his father's funeral. So my dad wasn't a Navy SEAL. He didn't climb Mount Everest. He wasn't a great sports person. He wasn't a multi-millionaire business person. He was none of that stuff. But what my dad did was kept his promise. What my dad did was did what he said he was going to do. And out of that talk at his father's funeral, Alex Sheen designed the Because I Said I Would movement. And the Because I Said I Would movement is this. People approach Alex and he sends out cards that has Because I Said I Would on them. And you take one of those cards, Because I Said I Would, and you write what your goal is or what you're trying to achieve or what you're going to be accountable for. And then you take it to somebody and you give it to them and you say, this is what I'm doing. And you leave it with them until you've done it. When you finish it, you come back and you collect it as a sign of you being accountability. Now, he sent out over 9 million of these cards around 124 countries. Since that moment, he decided to help people take ownership. And the science that backs this is really interesting. If you stood up in the group today, if we put all the unmuted and we put all the cameras on and you said, Jen, Robbie, Emily, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, this, and that. You would have a 65% chance of achieving that. Pretty good odds. Yeah, still pretty good. But if you said, hey, Robbie, I'm going to ring you every day. I'm going to send you a sheet with all my details and my tasks that I've done for the day. I'm going to stay committed and I need you to be my accountability buddy for today. Guess how much percentage you would achieve your goals? The likelihood is 95%. 95%. If that doesn't make you run out and get an accountability buddy right now, I don't know what will, because that's the science. You tell a group 65% success of it happening, you get an accountability buddy, 95% of success of it happening. I've got 4 accountability buddies right now. An accountability buddy for my book, accountability buddy for my business, accountability buddy for my own personal growth, an accountability buddy for my relationship. I'm bought into this because I said I would. What did you say you would do? What is the promise you might be continually breaking to yourself? Where do you need to step up today? Where do you need to find a way? What's your ocean? Because it can be done. Attitude, focus, and effort. Guys, just quickly, that's my wrap. I've got a gift for anybody who wants to have a chat. Send me an email at jet@jetxavier.com. Jet, 1T, @jetxavier.com. Happy to chat and do a little mini high performance assessment if you need that, if you think that's helpful, or if you're looking for that type of thing. Love what you guys are doing. I got to speak with Glenn the other day and do an interview with him. Incredible future this organization has. Chatted to Emily as well and did a great interview. I think you're in the right place. I think you're in the right time. And I think this is going to go bigger than you ever thought it was. So thank you so much for your attention, and all the best, guys. Well done.
Thank you, Jet. That was absolutely outstanding. I know so many of us really appreciate it. We'll make the replay available to everyone. And just thanks so much for making yourself available to us.
Any questions, guys, while I'm here? Otherwise, reach out and happy to chat.
Can
I
you
just wanted to say thank you.
Perfect. Jet, can you give us that email address just that one more time?
So Jet, Jet, @jetxavier.com.
Perfect. Thanks so much. And thanks everybody for popping along. Jet, have an awesome day, and we'll catch you all later.